This is the final episode of the series. This is the final episode of the series, and I'm here with my very talented and charming director, Stefan.
Yeah, it's me. Hi, I'm Stefan. The phone boxes, this was the last 6 months. This was actually the last one we shot.
And that's right. Now, Stefan is entirely responsible for the fantastic style and look and the whole 60s vibe. That was your decision, wasn't it? Where did that come from, Stefan?
Well, it wasn't entirely my decision, but we sort of all agreed. We all had a chat about it in the end, and but I liked it a lot because one of my favorite films is the Thomas Crown Affair, the original Thomas Crown Affair with Steve McQueen.
And we're very similar, aren't we?
Sorry?
We're very similar, me and Steve.
Yeah. No, I always thought that was a very suitable character for you. Very intelligent, very good looking, very charming, but also subversive, always challenging the establishment. That's you.
He couldn't mind read for toffee, I have to say.
No, he couldn't. And the fingers.
Your fingers, I think.
Not these ones. These sausage fingers.
Sausage, the German sausage fingers. Oh, not at all. I think you make a brief appearance in some of these as well. I think we have seen you briefly on one of these. So, are you... what do you think about... You tell us a bit about your background. Don't. Whatever, give me any clues as to which one you think those are. You do that now.
I used to edit your first shows, didn't I? I remember the first time, the first Derren edit you came in. I used to edit. I edited the first Mind Control, and then I moved up to become your director. I remember the first. You might remember it, but the first edit you came to view, Mind Control 1, and we drove home in the cab together to Crouch End. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do, actually. I mean to speak to you about that. No, I do.
Those very early days.
Actually, I think you invited me over for dinner.
Yeah, and have you been?
No, that was years ago.
How many fingers am I holding up? 3.
Well, that offer's still open if you...
Well, you've got my manager's number. We'll sort something out.
I tried very hard not to
you
any of the fingers.
I presume you're very proud of the series, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I think it works. It works really well. I think it looks really good. Oh, there. Do you remember the subliminal?
The subliminal flashes, which is good there because we were just beginning to sink into a sort of self-congratulatory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
quagmire.
Oh, here, the psychoanalyst.
I have to also say, just listen to the music. Just congratulate you on your constantly superlative choices of music for the show.
You're very kind. Unusually kind.
I am.
No, that's not
I'm
true.
very well. It's been a very long day recording all these commentaries, and I realised I was getting quite tired and pleasant and insulting with my guests, which is inexcusable. So I apologise for that. It's an incredibly happy family that do make this show, and we all get on very well. And so any rudeness on my part there was a perverse token of affection. On the other hand, I don't get on at all well with you, so I have to be very nice to you.
No, it's been a great pleasure working with you on that series, the one you.
Now, tell us about this office because this was.
Yeah, I went to see this man, this kind, lovely man, the night before we filmed this, and his office. This is not actually his office because his office was very, very, very small.
So this isn't his office. So this is fake.
Yeah. So. We asked his neighbours, which was sort of an office block, and they kindly gave us a room in that block, which is that. So we had to dress it in the morning. That's why you see the files on the floor, not on the shelf. And that light.
The lava lamp there, just on the left. I remember that. Was this sort of fairly early on in the filming because you were determined to give it the sort of 60s feel? And I just remember that
I thought
being quite a funny...
some 60s stuff in there. And then we thought, the lamp is great, let's use that.
And it really just knocks the whole the whole sequence back into the 60s, doesn't it? So it's... And
your polo neck as well.
Picture.
Are they his certificates on the...
Yeah,
they are.
The awards on the windowsill, that's all.
So they're not yours?
No, I think I managed to... A couple of gold awards I managed to bring in there that were mine.
There's your one for helping out a magician on stage in 1978.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that one. How was that? How was it? How was this for you? This is an incredible routine.
Well, I remember the biggest surprise actually at the end of this was finding out that that this chap, was it Arthur was his name, wasn't it?
Can't remember,
I think it was
actually.
Arthur. Who's
This doesn't mean that if this man,
if he isn't Arthur, I apologise. It was a very, very long time ago we filmed it. But ends up being, I think, either if not the brother-in-law, but certainly a close connection to Jerry Sadowitz. Do you know Jerry Sadowitz?
No.
Ah, right.
Oh, the magician, yeah.
The magician and comedian,
Yeah,
and general all-round genius. He and Jerry is responsible. We mentioned this earlier on in the series. This is the second time he's come up again in the commentary. He's responsible, really, for me getting my break, or certainly getting in touch with the production company that ended up making the show. And in a strange twist of fate, this turns out to be, I believe it's his brother-in-law, but apologies if that's wrong. But didn't find that out until the end of filming. There was no
totally different.
Yeah, I saw his name
link
coming
there
up as a comedian and as a magician.
He picked up the cues.
Say that again?
It was really fantastic.
Jerry's
His
name is popping up as.
No, he's been around for a long time. That's
But,
right.
he's very good at reading me and people in general, I think, and very good at manipulating the next thought.
So this was the room where we did. This is the stopping things on the street, just over the road from where we are, and
Yeah, Soho Square.
Soho Square, and the room next to the room where we did the nail up the nose.
That's right. Yeah, we did them both on the same
Just
day.
over there is where Sven-Göran Eriksson pulled up in his van. In fact,
It's the
is it there in shot? No. Oh, it might be. No.
the FA is on Soho Square, yeah, and the post-production place where we do a lot of our good work and a lot of good people.
It is good work, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
I think a lot of good people work there and help us to make these good shows. We can't name the company.
we wouldn't want to.
No. But Andrew, the sound technician who is recording this at the moment, he is working for them, and he did a lot.
I've never
of
noticed that
fabulous work.
Fernando, the stylist, actually appeared magically on the corner of the stairs, but he wasn't there, and then he suddenly was.
No, I like the stairs. I always, if there's an option to get stairs in, I love stairs in connection with what you do, because
Sorry,
there's
that
some-
did look like I just touched her on the breast there. May need to rewind that and have another look.
Look at me now, just thinking about looking out of that.
No, it's just touching her hand.
At the end of November, there's only 29 stopping days left for Christmas, and just looking out there and just seeing all of those people, and just when you do this and you're doing the Christmas stopping, you try.
I
to
notice I haven't shaved.
Kids and give them the stocking.
Yeah.
Just a second. And that's because I guess we filmed this the same day as the nail up the nose, and I guess I just hadn't shaved that day.
Did you mention that when in the other episode?
Yes, I did. Yes, it's all just come together. So how do you, as a director, what are you doing to kind of stamp your style on it as you're filming it? What is that process for you?
Well, I like to when we go through the routines and you give me the scripts or we talk about it, I'll try to put a sort of a visual, try to translate what you want to do into a sort of visual look.
Mm.
Like here, I like the open doors that lead to rooms where they just lead somewhere you don't know where. But same with the stairs. I think they sort of resemble the kind of work you do, and sort of resemble your working with the mind.
Oh, okay.
All right, off you go. Thank you.
Resemble your brain.
Hmm.
Okay, now I said don't stop.
I'd never thought of that. The stairs resembling my brain. Now that all falls into place.
Sorry.
And there's a great.
Back to the floor. Can't move.
So what happens when you try and move?
Can't.
There's a great reference in Twin Peaks where
You can, of course you can.
Lara Palmer is looking at this painting that had been given to her, which is basically just an open door leading into a room, which I always thought was great. I always really liked that.
I know it's a little bit odd. It is odd. I'm going to show you something. If this works, you will be thinking about this and questioning it and wondering about it for the rest of your life, right? And if you can just be confident with this and just believe that you can do this, you will, and it will be fantastic.
So you have been working on this
Right,
show
here's
since the
what
very start, which I don't think.
there are.
Yeah.
Are you the only? We have only one or maybe one or two people that have been.
John has been
I'm assuming
working
as editor as well. You were still
There you go, 3.
I loved
working
it.
with Jeremy Wooding, the first director, but still again largely responsible for the look of it. And it is, you know, say this obviously has absolutely nothing to do with me at all. So it is a incredibly stylish show, I think, to watch visually.
Okay, now just believe.
Oh no, this doesn't work, doesn't it?
This
first
doesn't work
time?
on her.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
So were you worried then that that?
Oh no, I thought I'd
Okay, now
have another go. It would work on the second or third time.
start again.
And is this?
Who's anyone you like?
Do you see this style as like whether it's this sort of 60s thing or the way it's edited and the montages and so on? Is that
Put your hand up. There she goes.
do you see that as kind of your thing that you've brought to the
Yeah.
show, or is
When I was working with when I was the editing and I was working with Jeremy, it was very new. I was talking to Aidan, the grader, the color, the person who's the guy who's grading the show, the colorist, and it was very innovative stuff. I thought the original mind controls in terms of the way they were edited, the way they were graded,
and the grading? Oh,
filmed.
there's Debbie. That's Debbie that's running up there, who we were talking to a little while ago. Again, I was rude to, and I apologise, Debbie. That's Debbie.
There she is.
She does dress like
Yeah.
that, and that really is Debbie.
She is great.
She is. It's sickening to say so, to keep saying so, but it really is a very happy family that make this show. And I think we've kind of, as the show's gone on, I think we've all got a sense of what we want to do with it and the experience that we want the people involved to have. You know, and I think at the start, you know, we were really finding our feet with that, and now that you know, it's really important to me that the people involved really enjoy themselves and are amazed by it and all the rest of it. And part of that is having a team that
I want you to
really works well together and can kind of ensure that.
anything you like.
I think it's a great. It's
simple and recognisable.
yeah, I agree. I think it's really it's come a long way. But it's a good for visually and sort of from a format point of view. It's
Well, what about things that you don't like about it? Are there things that bug you about it when you watch, or things that you missed? You mentioned something about in the first episode that the date is on the first phone box
Oh,
thing,
the
South
yeah.
Bank. The date's wrong on it or something, is it?
yeah, the first. I think it's the first image of the
First
series
yeah,
where I think it's the where the date where it's the phone box
yeah.
in the South Bank, and it's the the caption of where it is and when it is, and I can't remember quite what's wrong with it, but there's something wrong with it in terms of it's not the right date or
But only a little thing, or is it
yeah,
like
it's
the wrong
just a
year
little
or
thing.
something?
It's just a little thing. I'm sure nobody will notice.
Oh, okay.
unless
Oh,
you really
that's
go for it,
that's your German perfectionism, I think, coming through there.
but maybe perhaps.
It's a very precise show, isn't it?
Well, there's a lot of.
You took a lot of my gags out, I remember, in the early shows.
Yeah, that was something that. Now there's a lot more humour of you in there. Isn't there?
I remember that thing that he's leaning on there. It says Derren Brown live on that sticker that you can't quite see at the moment. It was,
Oh, is that
full
for
of,
your stage show?
it was full of notes
Yeah.
for my stage show I was making at the time.
When you're done.
I think we was,
Okay.
I guess we must have been so
Right, thank you.
trying to
So, one
dress
of the
his
areas
office
you work
that you didn't mind me leaving a few of my own bits around there.
No, you know we wanted to give.
Is that a typical German office to you? Is that?
Drawing and projecting.
No, it's quite. I don't know.
Is
What
it
would you say?
sparse?
It's a little sparse.
A little
Yeah,
sparse.
a little bleak. Now, you know the
So you can, in effect, look at an image or a picture that someone's drawn, and from that,
He must be-
analyse and draw conclusions.
As a psychoanalyst, I would just be sat there thinking that man is wearing a polo neck inside his
Find something
shirt.
similar here. You've drawn a
Yeah.
picture, and while you drew that picture, you had
maybe
a
that
He doesn't
wasn't
mention
quite
it.
the best. I mean,
Look at that
the
picture. Do you think that would be anything?
Helen, our I think she's done
Stylist.
our stylist. Yeah, she's done the wardrobe stylist. She's done a
That was a bold move, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's done I think she's great. She's done a really good job on the thing, but maybe that wasn't.
Yeah, I think that was me not doing a very good job
Yeah.
there.
Okay, wait a second.
It's that whole sort of Ubermensch superhero reworking the idea of wearing your pants over your trousers.
3, 2, 1, 0.
This was an amazing thing, wasn't it? To be able to trace him backward.
Side view. You probably were seeing it with its tail up in the air. So it's a cat of some. A cat. It's a cat. A side view. Of a
Tell us
cat.
more about your background, because
What were you thinking of?
Oh,
you
that was
didn't
well, I was started talking about. Oh yeah, the format which I wanted to talk about, which was the just a little comment about. But in terms of television, I think they're great. It's a great opportunity your show to play around with, to come up with new sort of stylistic ideas, because it's quite a unique show. It's not a documentary. It's not drama. It's not current affairs. It's something very special. So you have a lot of leeway how you present it. So that's been very good.
That's very, very kind of you, but you are actually evading the question of more about your background.
My background, yeah.
Which
It's what you mean, the color, the blue color background? No.
the blue background films.
Yeah.
Do you prefer not to talk about?
Yeah, let's not talk about it.
Okay. But do you bring any of that world into when you make this series?
No, I totally not.
You work designing supermarkets.
Yes.
Supermarkets, we know
Sorry.
there's a lot of second manipulation that goes on. Why is it, for example,
wish you
when
would.
walk into fresh fruit and veg? I mean, is it a simple
It's a
thing?
sensory thing.
Yeah.
He was a very nice chap. Because they're all very nice chaps, of course, but he was certainly one in a long line of very nice chaps.
For multicoloured flower displays, but it is a very, very dramatic entrance.
I mean, also the loyalty cards and so on, which is kind of
Oh, this is the vinegar moment. I tap him on and I say,
put their finger on.
there we are, said vinegar instead of finger. A few people picked up on the reference to salt and vinegar later. Well, I don't finish the sentence, but
And there's in the background you see the
level of manipulation is fascinating. Let me take
the symbol, the shape that flashed up throughout this episode.
The way the branding works on the shells.
I always wanted to do a lot more with subliminals. They're very tricky things, aren't they, to sort of get by the all sort of legal
Seem to make you go
reasons and things. But in this new series that we've just finished filming, which by now will have gone out by the time people are listening to this, or will be going out at the same time, we do a subliminal sequence with a cinema advert, which was the last thing that we filmed, actually. So we've just filmed that the other week. So I won't spoil the surprise if people haven't seen that yet. But yeah, it is a theme I've tried to come back to quite a few times.
Are very strong in supermarkets.
Let me show you what we
Subliminals, of course, I think work a lot better when you know that they're there. I think they're something of a myth. I remember a situation where someone I knew, there was a group of depressives that had a sort of a group that would meet up every week, which was that much fun. And he turned up with these tapes that he gave to them and said these are subliminal tapes that they've all properly done. It's a new technology, but they will make you feel great. They'll make you feel alive and alert and more confident. And gave them to them all, and they came back the next week, and all of them, I don't know about sort of 10 or so in the group, but all of them said there'd been a very powerful positive effect and from listening to these tapes. And in reality, the tapes, they were subliminal tapes, but the messages that he'd recorded on them, properly, subliminally recorded, were: you will feel shit. Every day will be worse than the day before. You are worthless. Your life is going downhill. And it just sort of... But they all reported a positive effect from these tapes. It just sort of goes to show that one suggestion you can hear is worth a lot more than
All right,
100 that you can't.
So what was it? Do you know what the subliminal images were? The subliminal information was?
Yeah, it was to make them feel bad. How long have you been in this country for now?
So this guy.
Yes.
Do you remember the moment when
he knocks over a bottle of wine?
Yeah, do you remember that? And it was just.
You very charitably edited that out.
Yeah. It just.
Which is not surprising. We hadn't really thought through the big pole on the back of the camera.
Yeah, he must have totally forgot about it. The little camera you see there in the top corner.
Is there wine up there? I think it sort of happened at the last minute.
There's the vinegar.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it happened just when he came around the corner.
Yeah.
Balsamic vinegar.
Great, him walking around with the "I'm off to buy vinegar" thing on his back. Anybody could have gone up to him and just said, "Oh, you off to buy vinegar? You're going to get some vinegar?" Which would have been like an extra bonus trick for him, because he'd had a whole supermarket full of mind readers.
I should have a purpose in my selection. Yesterday I made a green salad for my work colleagues, and I bought a brand new bottle of virgin olive oil but couldn't find.
This did sort of become very foppish at this point, didn't it? The whole routine.
Terrible. So I decided I'd buy it today.
Balsamic vinegar. Well, excellent choice. I genuinely didn't know you had made a green salad the other day and needed that. But important that was a free choice that you went for.
Yes.
There was no sense of coercion or...
Not at all, no.
No.
Ooh,
Terrific.
yes, there
Excellent.
was.
You've got this envelope on you, which
Yes.
you've had for 6 days now in your office, where you've been...
You just
looking
wouldn't have
at it,
known.
been able to see it,
But,
and absorb it,
that was,
wondering what was in it.
again, that was one of the last things we did in that series, wasn't it?
That was, I think, was that the very last thing we filmed?
Out now. Excellent. Let the camera get a good look at this before you open it. There's
And what's there?
Okay.
It's
Yep.
Now, this then became very difficult to show, didn't it? The tracing of
Read out what it says.
his route around the supermarket,
Yeah.
matching up and being exactly the same as the route on the shape. It was very difficult because originally we had the idea of this sort of fantastic top shot, didn't we? Getting a camera right up high on the ceiling and literally tracing it out. But of course, you couldn't find these supermarkets with high enough roofs.
Inside it. That won't make any sense to you now.
yeah. I remember we were talking at one point. We were talking about getting a helicopter in and doing it.
Removing a ceiling, and
Real. I stuck a sticker.
why didn't we do that?
You've been walking around with a sticker.
I think
Lazy. Lazy.
Yeah,
Take it off for me.
Debbie thought it might be
It says.
a cost that we couldn't carry.
Dubai vinegar.
Off to buy vinegar. Thank you ever so much. You've been.
That's fantastic. I was genuinely quite shocked and quite surprised. I think that shock was, the little stomach lurch. My God, how do you do that? This is as much a mystery to me as anything else, really.
So he didn't know, even when we finished, he didn't know.
No, that's it. I wonder what he thought when he watched it go out.
On the
Now there you see the.
Here we go. Yeah, so it does work if you follow it. It really is. It is the same, but it's was very
Yeah, so he
difficult.
turns there,
He walks to the end.
goes all the way the arm.
And then turns
This often does happen. When I'm
doubling back.
writing the routines and working on them, not on my own. I do that with Andy, but when they're being worked out,
The far end of that aisle.
you sort of take it for granted that there'll be some, a shot or something that will, this. I just took it for granted here that we'd have this really clear thing, and of course, the reality of it was that it was actually quite difficult to show. But I think you've done a terrific job of
Instructions that I shouldn't open
making it as clear as possible.
on a shelf.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And I looked at it,
and thank you for making this series look so good. This is coming up to the end now, isn't it?
all from it.
This is it.
Here it is now, with me, with absolutely nothing inside it, other than a blank piece of white paper. The obvious thing to expect would have been the prediction of what I might shop for, but arguably it was correct that it shouldn't have anything in it at all, but it
And
should
there
give me
it is,
things
coming
to
up.
think about that perhaps were setting me up. I was genuinely quite surprised, because what drove me to this particular
There it is.
product was a need. Is it magic? Is it prediction? Is it whatever? Great, actually, nice feeling. Nice feeling to be second-guessed so effectively.
Nice little noise. Did you choose that noise?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, did it together with Dan, the fantastic editor who edited that.
You each
last
just had a
series.
triangle. Now, this was the only one, wasn't it, where anybody actually came and spoke to her, and it was the last one that we did?
Yeah, a lot of people mentioned that to me, that they were quite disturbed by the fact that
Nobody bothers.
nobody bothers. Yeah.
Well, also, she's sort of a mild-mannered looking girl. You don't imagine she's a,
And do you remember
a
that
drunk.
Do you remember that the person who did help her was actually not from London at all? He was from Paris.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, there's
and we
a
talked-
lesson there for all of us, I think.
And we talked to him afterwards, and he said if it was in Paris, he wouldn't have helped her.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of that.
There you are.
And now's a good time to tell you won't be working on the next one.
Yeah, I thought as much. All
Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you didn't listen to all that in one go.
Right. Bye.
Thanks, Stefan. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.